and research, and by mobilizing our members around campaigns that advance the sector. Before we dive into today's content, there are just a couple of housekeeping notes. Everyone's phone lines are muted to keep the background noise to a minimum, but we do welcome your questions. So please take a moment and locate the chat box. Mine is in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Please type any questions you have there and we'll address them at the end of the presentation. We are recording this webinar and we'll share a link with you afterwards in case you'd like to review the presentation. Without further ado, I will turn it over to our partners at GiveGab.
Thanks, Susie. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for attending our Engaging Your Board webinar. My name is Vanessa Lloyd-Zammit, and I'm the project manager that is partnering with Susie and Kat for I'll Give. And today I'm joined by Bridget Cafaro.
Hi everyone, my name is Bridget and I'm on the customer success team here at GiveGab, and I'm really excited to be a part of your second I'll Give with GiveGab this year on Giving Tuesday, and really excited to talk to you about how to engage your board for I'll Give 2017. Because as we found from I'll Give 2016, organizations with an engaged board really do significantly better in all aspects of the giving day because they do have that team to rally behind them. So today we're going to be talking about a couple of different strategies that you can utilize to get your board excited and actively participating in your success for I'll Give. Before we jump in to today's presentation, I just want to make a quick announcement, something you may have noticed on your I'll Give dashboard on GiveGab. GiveGab will now no longer be doing those manual checks to make sure that you're verified within the state of Illinois to fundraise. So now all you have to do is check a box attesting that organization is compliant with any state regulations. And we also have a lot of resources if you have questions about whether or not your organization is verified, what you might need to do to follow through in that process, and what you need to do in order to accept donations for I'll Give this year. So I just wanted to point that out in case you noticed it since our last webinar, just to make the process a whole lot easier for your organization and for our team as well. So if you haven't checked off that box and attested that you are compliant, make sure that you do that before I'll Give so we know that you're all set to fundraise for the big day. And with that, I want to just cover a little bit about what we'll be talking about in today's presentation. First, of course, the power of an engaged board and why it is so important that you educate your board on the importance of participating in I'll Give on Giving Tuesday. And then how to set some expectations and roles for your board before, during, and after I'll Give. And then we'll go into a little bit more detail on some of those specific opportunities that you can utilize to get your board members more involved and actually leverage their connections, their voice, their passion for your cause in a few different ways. And then we'll end the webinar by pointing out some helpful tools and resources available to you to engage your board and promote I'll Give. And then we'll be available to answer any questions you have about I'll Give or utilizing the GiveGab platform this year. All right, so why is it so important to actually get your board involved in a particular campaign? Well, as we learned from Giving Tuesday 2016, organizations said they had an engaged board raised about 2 to 3 times more dollars on their giving day than those without. And that comes from all giving days that GiveGab ran online on Giving Tuesday afterwards. We surveyed all of those nonprofits, and based on what they said, we found that organizations with that engaged board do a lot better. And you're probably wondering what an engaged board actually is, because it can mean a lot of different things. But most engaged boards leading up to a giving day were those boards who were attending planning meetings, sort of matching fund. Maybe they were peer-to-peer fundraisers. But they were in some way actively involved in your I'll Give campaign and helping your organization strive for success, working with you to achieve the goals that you set out leading up to the day, and really communicating with them how to achieve those goals. So including your board members in your giving and truly can have a fantastic impact on your overall success. So it's really crucial that you follow through and let your board know why I'll Give is so important and how they can help you succeed. So as you develop your I'll Give campaign strategy, you start defining what your goals are for this year. Maybe it's a monetary goal, or maybe you have a match or a challenge you're looking to unlock, or a specific specific subset of donors you're really engage. These are all really specific, and each specific goal that you outline in 2017 is going to be a little bit different, and your board members can help you based on those different goals that you set. So as you take a look at that strategy, hopefully now kind of determine those goals. We're almost 6 weeks away from I'll Give on Giving Tuesday, so thinking about what you're actually looking to achieve and how your board members can actually help you the most. So not just all of the different ways your board members can help you, but maybe targeting those 2 or 3 different specific tasks that will really help you reach those specific goals. And you do want to make this as clear as possible from the beginning of the planning process what role your board members will play in this campaign strategy. So as you introduce I'll Give to your board, hopefully they're familiar with it, or at least familiar with Giving Tuesday and why that's so important for your organization to participate in, but making it really clear as you kick off this day what your goals are, what I'll Give is, why it's so important that you participate, and why it's so important that your board join you in this campaign, because by helping you and by assisting you in whatever ways that they can and have the capacity to do, you are leveraging that support in a way that helps you build momentum, utilize those resources to have a more successful strategy overall. And you do want to create an even playing field for all of your board members, regardless of their involvement or capacity to actively participate in this process with you. So making it really clear at the beginning, what you're looking to achieve and how your board members can help you achieve it. Maybe providing a few different ways in which all of your board members can get involved, or maybe there's one way if you have a board member who's just looking to take time to help you with planning an event or doing social media. Maybe they're willing to make gifts prior to the day and utilize that as a match, whereas someone else might not have the capacity to give for I'll Give. Maybe you want to utilize that board member to share things on social media, to utilize their voice to connect with those people in their network. Making sure that you are providing those opportunities that can work for any and all of your board members in a way that works for you and for them. So a lot of times I hear from organizations that it can be really tricky to get your boards excited about the fundraising aspect of Giving Tuesday and pretty much everything you're doing throughout the year. But I think Giving Days are a really perfect opportunity to get your board excited about online fundraising and all of the opportunities that an online Giving Day can actually provide your organization, from potential new donors to reaching wider demographics, online exposure, being able to utilize these educational resources, having that improved donor analytic combination from your I'll Give profile to be able to understand your donors more, and then those, of course, potential prizes or matching dollars you may be striving for on the day can really make this Giving Day different than any other fundraising event that you might be holding throughout the year. So really sharing with them what that kind of value incentive is of participating, and why it's so important that your organization utilize the momentum of I'll Give to have fun and really utilize your organization's voice and brand to capture a wider audience. And I think with fundraising, it really is all about those stories. And all of your board members hopefully do have a story somewhere to share. They're on your board for a reason, which means they're connected to your cause in some personal way that means something to them, enough so that they're willing to dedicate their time and their money to support you in making sure that your mission is moving forward. So if your board members are kind of concerned or nervous about fundraising, they're not comfortable asking for money around this time of the year, let them know that it really is all about sharing your story, utilizing that information that's already at their fingertips, a conversation they'd be comfortable having, just talking with their friend, talking about, hey, I am on this board, and I'm on this board because, my sister was affected, and now they do all of this great work. That's so easy to have a conversation about, and when you're just simply telling that story to a friend or family member, and then following it up with a call to action to say, hey, you can actually help us make a difference by supporting us on I'll Give, it's a lot less scary than giving your board members a list of names to call and ask for donations. So this is a great opportunity to utilize your board members' connections and passion for your cause to have fun on the Giving Day. And a great way to keep your board members in the loop, reminding them of how important it is to support you on AllGive. I've seen a lot of organizations start to send out maybe a weekly, bi-weekly email specifically to their board members with quick updates about how the campaign's going, what your goals are, if you secure any matching dollars, if maybe you're aiming for a specific prize or you want to get them set up as peer-to-peer fundraisers. This can really help to streamline the process for both you and your board members. Maybe have one member of your team kind of own this process, really take the board under their wing to provide them with just some quick updates here and there. It doesn't have to be too intense. It can really just be a few bullet points to keep them in the loop. But just by including them, making them feel like they are a part of this campaign with you early on, even if it's just, hey, we secured a $100 match for the day, or we got another peer-to-peer fundraiser, we'll be attending this event, that really does make a difference in making your board members feel like it's not that hard to get involved and help you be successful. So some ideas for your board to get more involved before your giving day. Of course, if you are having an AllGive kickoff, or maybe at your next board meeting you do have a time and place to talk about AllGive specifically, making sure that all of your board members are included in that. Setting aside that time during your board meetings from now on to talk about AllGive, making sure that is always on the agenda, always something you're regularly checking in on with your board members, because again, even though it might not seem like little details are kind of relevant or that your board members might not care about the little details, if you don't share that information with them at all, they might not care because they don't know. So you want to educate them as best as you can with the resources that you have to let them know what you're doing, how they can get involved. And of course, sharing any helpful resources with them before the day, like those social share graphics on the site. Maybe you have them registered as peer-to-peer fundraisers or social ambassadors for AllGive, making sure that they're set up with their profiles, maybe having a little check-in at an upcoming board meeting, having everyone set up their profiles together, writing those stories out. Taking the time to really educate your board can make an enormous difference both on and after the day. So continually emphasize the importance of their participation and thank them for supporting you before the day as well as on and after the day. So during AllGive on Giving Tuesday, this is a great opportunity for your board members to really rally around what you're doing, from everything to sharing socially, really leveraging your board members' social network connections to reach those different people who might not be currently seeing your messaging, making sure they're swapping out those Facebook cover photos and profile photos to really let all of their friends and family know that they are supporting this movement with you, and that it is a fun event that they can be a part of just by doing something small like changing out their picture or sharing out a link to your organization's AllGive profile. And then during the actual event, because it is a 24-hour event, you might be checking in with your board members periodically throughout the day. Maybe you reach your goal by 10 a.m. That'd be absolutely fantastic, and you want to have a reach goal by midnight to really amp up your supporters to continue to give throughout the day. Check in with your board members, see if they maybe sponsor a match or something to continue donations. Decide on a reach goal. Little things like that are great ways to make your board feel involved and actually get them excited about how well you're doing on the day and how they can help you do even better. If you're aiming for any prizes or matching funds that might be coming up during specific hours, making sure to let your board members know, hey, noon is coming up, it's going to be a power hour, we really think we can win. Please share this with all of your friends so that they know to donate during this time period so that we can really leverage those donations to win that prize. And then of course, just motivating board members to get involved in any ways that you have available, with an in-person event that you're attending or hosting. Maybe you have a volunteer happening in real time on Giving Tuesday, or you're going Facebook Live, you're interviewing people. Keeping your board in the loop and inviting them to really be a part of this day with you both online and off can make a really big difference in your relationship, not just on AllGive, but after AllGive, as you thank them for all of this work. And there's also things you can do with your board after AllGive as well, because your board members, it's so great that they're going to get involved in this day with you, and it's a great opportunity to build off the relationship you already have by, if you haven't really participated in I'll Give in the past, or you have and your board members weren't really involved, an opportunity to thank them for joining you and seeing the work that you do in real time on such a fun and different event. A lot of other events on our fundraising calendar. It's also a great opportunity for you to share those insights on your campaign success. Maybe host a debrief after I'll Give, your next board meeting after the event, to talk about what you learned, what your board members liked, what surprised your board members, what surprised you, what you learned from your donors this year, what your goals are for next year. All of these are really great things to think about, and when your board has actually gone through this process with you from beginning to end, it's so much easier for them to see the bigger picture, especially as you participate in more of these giving days. They start to look forward to them. They start to get excited and really see the value of being a part of one of these days and how your organization and your board can really benefit from it. So celebrate your team and a job well done. Make sure to let your board know how much you appreciate them for helping you on this day, and hoping that they'll continue to help you and see the value in participating in Day I'll Give. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to Vanessa, who's going to share some different opportunities specifically that you can utilize to engage your board on I'll Give and get them really excited about the big event.
Thanks, Bridget. So one of the themes that we've touched on as Bridget has gone through some of these slides is peer-to-peer fundraising. So our data from last year shows that peer-to-peer, those organizations who do leverage peer-to-peer fundraisers on average make $1,500 more than those organizations that don't. Additionally, those who, for every peer-to-peer fundraiser an organization has, they'll on average bring in 4 new donors. So there's no question about it, peer-to-peer fundraising is effective, and as you leverage your board in this capacity, it just adds to that momentum behind the day. So recruiting your board members to create their own peer-to-peer fundraising pages that are tied to the Giving Day profile will show up on your Giving Day profile, and it makes it very easy for them to share that you're participating, and as Bridget mentioned, sharing their story and why they support you. So right from their peer-to-peer fundraising, they're able to share that they're participating in the day to their different social media channels, again, making it very easy to connect to all different social networking channels. It's also awesome to stimulate with incentives for your top fundraiser. So this you don't have to be very fancy with or overly elaborate. It could be something as simple as a silly coffee mug, or as you can see in this picture, back scratchers that say champion on them. Just use the resources that you have available to you, and it's really kind of funny to see how much people get worked up over, even a simple prize like a t-shirt. So, I mean, it's all in good fun. So sparking that friendly competition will motivate your peer-to-peer fundraisers just that more. Also encourage your board members to reach out to any of their connections within the community. So all through the state of Illinois, so there's different businesses that you can leverage. Again, play to your board members' strengths. If they're not comfortable reaching out to their networks, be respectful of that. If they're not comfortable being a peer-to-peer fundraiser, but they would love to reach out to their connections and see what kind of sponsorship dollars they could get for you, a board member that way. As Bridget went into detail, play to their strengths. And this is a great way to not only get your name out that you're participating in I'll Give, but to also draw in additional support. Leverage connections to secure donations, matching funds, or promotional opportunities. So right in your Giving Day dashboard, you have that opportunity to put together a matching source. And right on that match, you can put their logo, you can put their website so that they do get credit for being that sponsor to you on I'll Give. And you can also leverage them for promotional opportunities. So you see in this picture, there's a diner sign that says New Hampshire gives, do good, give to a good local org. You could partner with an organization that has any kind of promotional value, such as a sign like this, or maybe it's a magazine, maybe it's a TV ad. Those types of things are great ways to get additional support and marketing value. Also provide cross incentives to supporting partners or community members. So a very popular thing to do would be to assign different sponsorship levels. So if they come in at a gold level, they may get certain perks that are associated with your organization, such as a ticket to a potluck or a private tour of your facility. If they donate at a different or a higher tier and they're a platinum member, maybe they get exclusive tickets to a show, or they get a dinner with the board members. So you can create different tiers of giving and create incentives for companies to sponsor you at. So it's a great way to not only get support, but also start building those relationships with those sponsors for a long-term relationship. So I touched on sponsored matches. So this is a great way to incentivize donors because their donation would then be matched by this sponsor match that is available. So encourage your board members to think about contributing to a match. So maybe you're not able to secure a matching source, but you talk to your board members, and your board members are all planning on donating $100. And if you have 5 board members, that's $500. Pull that together and use that as a match. It's a great way to still incentivize donors and still have that match available just by utilizing your board. And then as you configure it right in your Giving Day dashboard, you can see on this illustration to the right that it is displayed right on your Giving Day dashboard. And then as donors go through the donation flow, they're reminded that there is a match available and that their dollar is going to go much further, which in turn motivates them to maybe bump up that dollar amount a little bit more. And for returning organizations, you will see that you still have access to your matches from last year. There is a button that you can archive your old matches with. So if you did have matches last year for your I'll Give 2016 campaign, I would encourage you to go through and just double check that those old matches are archived. You still have access to that information within your dashboard, but what that does is suppresses it from your 2017 dashboard, so your donors are not seeing old matches. All right, so leveraging your board members is a great way to contribute to your overall donor stewardship plan as well. So enlist your board members to help thank and acknowledge your donors after the day. So this is a great time to think about your segmentation strategy. How are you going to thank your different tiered donors? And then how can you leverage your board to thank certain tiers of donors? As appropriate, ask them to make calls to your larger donors or thank them personally for their contribution. Again, having that personal touch to those larger donors is a great way to build those relationships and make them feel appreciated for their contribution. At your next board meeting, take the time to have your board members write handwritten notes. Again, if this is appropriate for your segmentation strategy, it's another great way to just show that that you appreciate your donors by taking the time to actually handwrite a note. It's not something that we see too often anymore, so that is a great token of appreciation. Look at our board member strengths. We can also leverage them as social ambassadors. So leverage their social network, encourage them to like and share content, as well as create their own posts. So as you're revving up for Giving Tuesday, it's going to be increasing your presence on social media or your emails to your donors, your Twitters. Make sure your board members are active in those posts that they're sharing and liking, so they're expanding that reach. Also encourage your board members to swap out their cover photos for Giving Day graphics. You can find those right in the Nonprofit Toolkit under the downloadable goodies section. This is another great way for their networks to quickly see they're supporting your organization on the day of. And it's also a very quick 30-second change that's very effective. All right, so we've covered a lot of material today. So what are our key takeaways? Every profit board is different. So leverage your board members in ways that they're comfortable with participating and they get really excited about participating, and that how you leverage them are in alignment with your goals. Not everybody may have a voluntary goal for the day. Maybe to get more social media followers. It could be to get volunteers. It could be just to get the word out about your organization. So make sure that how you're leveraging your board is in alignment with what that goal is, and that will make their participation in the day. Also educate your board about the importance of I'll Give early on. That will not only help make a big difference in the overall giving day, but it'll help them figure out how they can leverage their skills and talents to make I'll Give as successful for the organization as possible. Also provide calls to action and steps for success that will motivate your board members and make them want to actually participate. So again, thinking through your goals for the day, what are different marketing techniques, social media campaign techniques are you going to try? Figuring out a game ahead of the day will help not only your board just execute the plan, but also get creative and be excited about contributing to your participation in I'll Give. Also check out the Board Support Toolkit. So there's tons of stuff in here. You can find this right within the nonprofit toolkit, but please forward that link right directly to that Building Board Support Toolkit that will give them sample calling scripts, social media guides, email templates, shareable graphics, tons of links to blog articles, and best practices. So this is a great place if they don't really know where to start, or they're just kind of along and they need help with some different resources. This is a great place for them to go, so they don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. At least we're here for you, so feel free to click on that little blue chat bubble in the bottom right corner of I'llGive.com site, or as you're in your Giving Day dashboard. We're here to help you with any and all questions, not just technical questions, but strategic questions as well. That's actually what we really get excited about. So if you're having trouble leveraging or starting that conversation, please tap into us. We're here to help you and just bounce ideas off if that's what you need. So you can go through the little blue chat bubble or email us at customersuccess@givegab.com, and that'll provide access to our customer success team. We also have a help center, so support@givegab.com, support.givegab.com. We have tons of blog articles in there about not only building board support, but every facet of Giving Day. So it's a great place to go if you want to just quick do some reading before you chat with us. But there's a ton of stuff in there, and if you don't find what you want, please write into us so that we can add something in there. And please remember, all right, so from our I'll Give 2016 findings, I'll Give fundraisers, we did find that most of them announced their campaign 2 to 4 weeks ahead of Giving Tuesday. So we are just about 6 weeks out from the day. So now is crunch time. Time to start planning your communications and your team responsibilities for the day. So again, out of all the top 50 fundraisers for I'll Give, most of those campaigns announced 2 to 4 weeks ahead of Giving Tuesday. On average, they also posted 10 Facebook posts and an average of 6 tweets prior to the day. And then they also sent 3 to 4 emails out on Giving Tuesday. So again, these things take a lot of time and preparation work. So right now is a sweet spot. Now is the time to get that stuff done, and once it's done, then it's smooth sailing through the day. All right, so what are your next steps? So if you have not already signed up for I'll Give 2017, please do so. The deadline is fast approaching. Like and follow I'll Give on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The I'll Give team does a wonderful job of keeping those up to date and updates on key milestones or any tips and tricks. I follow them, so definitely check them out. Also watch your email for important I'll Give updates. So they have an email series of 9 emails that cover a ton of different of your giving day, including engaging your board. So if you don't get those, make sure you sign up for those. They're very valuable. Also check out the I'll Give Nonprofit Toolkit. I don't think we've talked about that a ton today, but that is your best friend in your preparations for I'll Give 2017. There's not only stuff for tips on engaging your board, but also your peer-to-peer fundraisers, how to leverage peer-to-peer, also peer-to-peer fundraising toolkit for your peer-to-peer fundraisers themselves, graphics, communication timelines, you name it, it's in there. And if it's not in there, please let us know so we can add it. So that's your best friend. Check that out. Also sign up for the next I'll Give training session, which is 2 weeks away, and is the Art of Your I'll Give profile. So we'll go through some of the best practices in building your profile, and we'll give examples of some of the more successful profiles that we've seen with not only I'll Give, but for other giving days as well. And with that, we will start taking questions. Susie, is there anything you want to add before we jump into questions?
Not at the moment, but I'll definitely give another shout out to the Nonprofit Toolkit and mention again that the peer-to-peer toolkit can be found on that page, and it is a fantastic resource.
Yeah, a lot of good information in there.
So if anyone has questions, feel free to go ahead and type those in. It does usually take a couple of seconds for it to get from your computer to mine. Last call for questions, but I will go ahead and say thank you so much everyone for joining us today. We really hope that you have a fantastic I'll Give for Giving Tuesday campaign, and we appreciate the expertise of our friends at GiveGab. So we hope you enjoyed today's webinar, and you'll join us for more learning opportunities. You can see what's available in terms of overall nonprofit trainings at myforefront.org.
Thanks, Susie.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Have a great day.